Hey, so what's going on everyone, and welcome back to another video. And in this video what I want to go over is a video going on to Avengers Endgame. Now it's going to be going on to the post-credit scene, going to be going over Galactus and Annihilus, and going on to kind of like all of those characters, basically that Marvel just got back from Fox. Now, overall it's going to be a bit of a shortish video, so there's that, I guess. And now with all of that being said, let's get into the video. So now I'm going to be going on and going over kind of like the post-credit scene. So the first kind of problem you would have with doing all of this is, if you went on and done this, there's about a month until Avengers Endgame comes out. Now, they'd have to cast someone, they would have to do special effects, they would have to work out scheduling, all of that would take way too long for it to be able to be done within a month. Now, even if they'd done it kind of in secret and no one knew about it, still it would take a month to film, or kind of like a month to kind of go on and edit like a really kind of, top tier kind of, CGI kind of scene. Now, overall, that wouldn't really work out. It just really wouldn't be a good thing to go on and do. And now if someone is going to go on and mention, they could have done all of this in secret, could have done it before, Disney bought out Fox. Now, that would never happen because, I'm going to go over it right now. If like Disney went on or Marvel went on and kind of made a scene with like a character from Fox at the time, it really wouldn't be a good idea because, Disney could have been sued by Fox, which would have made the whole deal just take even longer, because I believe this deal took even, over a year. I believe it took maybe a year and a half. Now, even with it ending a few days ago, I didn't expect for it to end for another, few weeks from when it ended. It was rumored for the end of March, which is around now, but it was bought out maybe a few days ago, 21st-ish is what I remember. Now, if I had to take a guess which character is going to be the most likely to come on and appear first, it's not going to be kind of Galactus, because, he's going to be the biggest kind of threat out there. Like, me, honestly, he's probably bigger of a threat than Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet, because, he eats worlds. Like, you don't really go on and destroy, like, Galactus. You don't go on and defeat him. You make a bargain with him. It's kind of like in a sense where, if Galactus comes around, you're not going to be able to defeat him. He is, like, that big. He eats worlds. He literally can't be defeated. Like, you're just gonna have to make a bargain for him to show up at a different time. Like, it is kind of insane how, powerful Galactus is, and I don't really believe they would kind of tease like all of that in a post-credit scene. Now, for maybe doing that, if they went on and done it, I believe he'll be the next big bad. And what I mean by that is, there's going to be Thanos for the first 22 movies. So for Galactus, I believe he's going to be for the next 20-ish movies. I believe he's going to be that big bad. Now, as I said, he can't really be defeated, so he could be pushed back into like a different time to show up again. So for like maybe the next like 22 movies, I believe he'll be that kind of big threat. Then I believe after that, he'll be pushed back to kind of a smaller one. Like, he'll still be the really big threat, but he won't be the number one at that current time. And now another kind of big character that could show up is going to be Annihilus. Now, I don't really know way too much about him other than he is a very, very powerful kind of person. I believe he has like the cosmic control rod. I believe he's very powerful. Now, I remember I done a video on him before. From what I remember, he's a very paranoid kind of like villain. He is very paranoid that he's going to be like destroyed or something. Now, I believe he kind of started off as like the Fantastic Four. Like, he was around that like area of people. Obviously, like the Fox Disney deal done, so he could go up against Marvel. Now, if he was to go up against them, I do believe he has before. I don't really know way too much about him. I will kind of say that again. Now, I will say that again, I'm not a massive kind of like comic book reader. I don't really read way too much comics. From what I remember looking up online, he's a very kind of powerful person. His armor is very powerful. Like, I don't remember much. I remember he evolves. He kind of starts out as a spore. Now, I believe he was like the first person or first kind of one to work out. He evolved. He became very powerful to the point where I believe he was like nearly as powerful as like Thanos, or even more powerful. I don't really remember. Again, I just don't really remember. Now, another kind of really big person is going to be Kang the Conqueror. Now, I don't know much about him at all. I believe he's a time traveler. Now, my kind of knowledge from him is from, Lego Spider-Man 2 or Lego Superheroes from Marvel 2. I don't really remember the name of it. Either way, I remember he was a time traveler, he was very powerful, and I'm probably going to do a video after this maybe, going on to him, explaining him a bit more because I don't know much about him. You know, either way, I think he's kind of like a really, you know, interesting person overall. Now, you know, I don't know much, as I said, you know, I'll name out another person or another maybe two after this and go into more detail. Overall, you know, I'm pretty excited to see if he'll be there. Now, you know, another person which I don't know much of, which isn't going to be one of the two people I just mentioned, is going to be maybe the Beyonder. Now, I don't know much about him either. I'm not sure if he's from Marvel, if he was from, you know, Fox being bought out. You know, I don't really know much about him. Now, one of the characters I want to go on and speak about, like another, you know, big character is, that I just remembered, it's going to be Dr. Doom. Now, I believe he was never properly, like, in a movie. You know, there was, like, those Fantastic Four movies from, you know, I don't even know where they're from. I don't remember what company put them out. It could have been Sony. I don't, like, maybe it was, like, Columbia Pictures. I just don't really remember. Now, this is me about, you know, a few hours later going over the editing. Now, I don't know what I was kind of thinking, but it wasn't from, like, you know, Columbia Pictures or Sony. It is from Fox. I don't know what was going through there, but, you know, let's get back into the video. Either way, Dr. Doom is like one of the best villains Marvel have ever made. I know that for a fact. Now, I don't know much about him, but from what I remember, there was like this really good comic book from Marvel where, you know, the Thing was part of this massive wall. It was like, I don't even remember what the name of it was, but I remember it being like incredibly insane by how cool it was. Now for Kang, I believe he is something along the lines of a distant relative to like Reed Richards. Now, you know, that's from what it's saying online. I don't know how kind of, you know, accurate it is, but either way, going back onto, I believe, Dr. Doom, he was like a ruler of Latvia or Latveria or something. He was a ruler of there. You know, he's pretty powerful, probably one of the most powerful in, you know, like, basically like the Fox universe. You know, you have Magneto as well, which, you know, he's not going to be used for like, you know, this post-credit scene. He's going to be X-Men kind of related. Another thing is, you know, Dr. Doom is going to be like one of the smartest kind of people on Earth, so he's going to be nearly as smart as, or pretty much as smart as, like Reed Richards. You know, I'm pretty sure Kang, you know, is like a descendant or something along the lines of that as well. Dr. Doom basically has sorcery as well, so he's went on, he's rivaled, I believe, Doctor Strange. He's went on and done all of that. So, you know, if he's went on and rivaled him, he is a pretty strong kind of like person for magic. He is very strong in that sense. Now I'm going to go on and kind of read out a few villains that, you know, Marvel have basically got on from this deal. So, you know, there's going to be obviously reading them all out. Dr. Doom, Galactus, the Silver Surfer, which is a bad guy turned good, I believe. I'm not too sure how it works out there. Mole Man, the Mad Thinker, Annihilus, which I already mentioned, which I'll go over in more detail in a different video. The Frightful Four, the Maker, Molecule Man, which I believe is pretty powerful, the Skrulls, and it says partial beside it, etc. So going on to it, you know, MCU kind of villains as well, you know, they're going to be X-Men. You know, they're not going to really be here, they're not going to be in this post-credit scene, as I said before earlier on. Now for the Molecule Man, I don't know way too much about him, but I do remember from like watching a video or something that he's really powerful. I believe he's able to blow up the Earth or something. I believe he's like, you know, very powerful anyway. You know, as I said, I don't know way too much about him, but I just remember like reading or like kind of hearing that in the video. So for the Silver Surfer, I believe he's like very powerful. You know, he goes and deals with all of Galactus. He's pretty much kind of like his lackey in a sense, but I believe he's very powerful in the sense that he can absorb magic or absorb kind of like energy. Now I also believe he can travel at the speed of light, which, you know, I'm not too kind of like familiar with. Now overall, I don't know way too much about him. I don't know way too much about his powers. All I remember from him is, you know, he was in like kind of like a Fantastic Four movie, maybe back in 2000-ish. I don't really remember the year, but either way, I remember him being like very powerful in that movie. Now for Molecule Man, I believe he's also able to go on and make kind of like, you know, go into hyperspace, use beams, use force fields. I believe he's able to go on and do all of that. I also believe Reed Richards went on and kind of done later on, said he's able to warp reality, but I don't really know way too much about that. I also believe, you know, he is a villain, so, you know, that's not going to be a really good kind of thing to go on and do. Now, you know, that has been pretty much everything I kind of wanted to go over in the video. So tomorrow, I'm not too sure yet. I might have a video go up, I might not have a video go up. Now, if it is a video going to be going up tomorrow, I don't really know what it's going to be on. I don't know if it's going to be news. I don't know if it's going to be dealing with going on to, you know, something like a theory. I don't know if it's going to be an explainer. Now, I will try and get maybe 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 videos out. Now, number 1, the first video that should probably drop tomorrow, it will probably probably be like a news video, you know, if something does drop. Now if something doesn't drop, it will be kind of like a theory video, and if something along the lines of a theory video doesn't drop, it's going to be more likely going on to, you know, like an explainer for one of the characters I went on and mentioned. Now, you know, as I said, it's been pretty much everything I kind of wanted to go over in the video. So, you know, if you want to and you're new around here, you know, you can subscribe, leave a like and comment down below if you want to, and, you know, do all that. You know, social media is in the description, and goodbye.